So hi everyone, welcome back. In the previous video we have learned about the concept of looping, and with that we printed patterns and series patterns. So in this video we are going to discuss our next concept, which is called the concept of array. So array is a very popular concept in modern day programming languages. It's available in all the programming languages, in C++, C, and in Java also. So let's see what we are going to learn in today's class. In today's class we are going to learn and focus about the topic of single dimension array. Okay, we are going to discuss about the single dimension array in today's class. There is also another topic or another lecture on this array, which is going to be on multi-dimensional array, that is a 2D array exclusively. So that will come in the next video after this, but today we are going to confine our discussion to only single dimension array. So let's see what is the definition of array. So what is an array? Array is a collection of number of data of same data type. Okay, it also says that in other terms, a collection of number of data of same type under a single variable name is an array. So if we underline the key points of the definition, we get that array is a, what is array? Array is a collection. Okay, so whose collection is array? Array is a collection of number of data. Okay, array is a collection of number of data. So how is the data? The data has to be of same data type. So what you can call array is a collection of number of data or multiple data of similar data types. It's called an array. Okay, so in it here also says that in other terms, collection of number of data of same type under a single variable name. Right? Up to now or up to previous video, we knew that if a variable, suppose int a is defined, okay, so int a equal to 5. So what does this mean? This means that this variable a is holding a value which is equivalent to 5, right? But what is the concept of array says that you can hold multiple number of variables or multiple number of data of same data type, that is int, with the same variable name, with the concept of array. So if you see in a wider aspect or understand in a wider aspect about the concept of array, suppose I give you a scenario. Okay, suppose I want you to develop a program that will just store the marks of 5 students. Okay, so in one subject. Okay, so how will you write that code? So to write that code, you will write like this: int main, right? And after writing int main, what will you write? You will open the braces, and over here you will write int marks 1 equal to 110, int marks 2 is 20, int marks 3 30, int marks 4 is 40, int marks 5 is 50. So like this, what I am storing? I am storing the marks of 5 students. This is student 1, this is student 2, student 3, student 4, student 5, right? So in this case, how many variables am I using to store this marks? That is, I am using 5 variables, right, to store marks of student in one subject. So 5 variables store marks of a student in one subject, right? Can you understand the thing what I mean? I mean to say that these 5 variables m1, m2, m3 and m4 are storing the marks of a student in one subject, right? So how many variables? We are storing 5 variables. But if you consider the system of array or the functionality of array, or what you call the feature of array, the array features allows you to store all these 5 marks or more than that in case in a single variable name, right? So how you do it with array? It's very simple. We will write int main over here. Okay, brace open, brace close. We will define a single variable of array, single array name. Okay, and it should be of integer data type. Why? Because all the mark is of int. So we will write int, which is the data type of array. Okay, we will write here marks. Okay, and we will define a size of 5. Okay, and what happens after this declaration is a storage space is allocated in the RAM or in the memory of integer type having 5 spaces to store 5 marks. Okay, now instead of putting this semicolon over here, if I give equal to and then write over here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So what happens here is all this 10 is stored over here, this 20 is stored over here, this 30 is stored over here, this 40 is stored over here, and at last this 50 is stored over here. And what is the name of this single array? This is an array of data, right? Array means a set, right? So what is the name of this set or this array? Its name is mark. Clear? So what this mark variable or mark array is allowing us? So mark variable is allowing us to store the marks of these 5 students under a single variable name, that is mark. Instead of using this multiple variable name, we are using mark array to store the same thing in a same variable, one variable name. Okay, now this syntax and all we will learn just after some times. This is just for example. Okay, now let's see about the various types of array that we have in programming generally. So there are 2 types of array. One is single dimensional array and another one is the multi-dimensional array. Today we are going to discuss about this single dimensional array, that is this one. Alright, and in the next video we will discuss about this multi-dimensional array. Okay, so what is single dimensional or one dimensional array? The array that has only one dimension, that is this one. Okay, this one. See, here we have only one column, no rows, right? That is one dimensional array. This is the one dimensional array. And what is multi-dimensional array? Multi-dimensional array is this bottom one, which has a row also and a column also. This is called a 2-dimensional array. We are going to discuss this in the next video about the 2-dimensional array, but let's today confine our discussion to only 1-dimensional array. So 1-dimensional array generally looks like this, alright, and it has only one column and no rows. Okay, so so let's see why the depth about the single dimensional arrays now. So we are going to discuss about the single dimensional array. So this is an array. Suppose this is an array and it is storing some data 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, now what is the indexing of array mean? Indexing of array mean that all these cells or all these places where the numbers are stored in the array, they have a specific identification index with the help of which we can access the elements of array and also assign or also change them. Okay, suppose this is a array of name m and how many spaces it is storing? 10. Okay, now remember that the indexing of a 1D array or a 2D array both starts from 0. Now suppose I want to access this 5 over here. This 5 data I want to access. So how will I access it? I will say, or I will refer this 5 data, 5 a value by its index, and its index is 4. Why 4? Because the index of an array starts from 0, not from 1. Alright. So if I want to access this 5, okay, so how will I change this, or how will I refer to this? Suppose this is my array of name m. Okay, the array has a name, or say array is its name. Okay, so how will I access this 5? I will write arr in bracket 4. So what will this refer to? This will refer to this position, and what this position has? This position has the value that is 5. Now let's take another example. Suppose I want to access this 9 over here. So what will I do? I will refer by its index. So arr, which is the array name, and next we will write the index, that is 8, because it has the index 8. It is mentioned over here. 8. I will write 8 over here, bracket close, and semicolon. So what does this line mean? This line will bring the compiler to this position, that is the 8th index. And what does the 8th index have? The 8th index have the value which is 9. As simple as that. Right? Now let's move to the next topic, or the next discussion, that is accessing data from the array. This is what I have said just now. So how do you access the data from an array? We access data from an array in this format. We write the array name first, we write the index at the position whose value we want to accept or access, and then this will return the value at that index. For example, if this array has a name, say arry array, and I want to find, or I want to locate this number 4, right? I want to change this number 4 to, suppose I want to change this number 4 to some other value, say 10. I want to do this. So how will I do this, or how will I access this data? So we will write arr. I know it's not visible or not clear, so let's change it to yellow. So we'll write arry. What is arry? Arry is the array name. Here we will define the index, write the index of 4. What is the index of 4 over here? It is 3. So we'll write 3. So arr 3, and now we got the location of 4, and we will just change this value to 10. Suppose in this case we do it to 10. So what will this bring effect? So this will bring effect, and it will remove this 4 from here, and will make it 10. Let's make it black, and it will make it 10 instead of 4. Right. So this is the change which is happening, or how we are accessing the data in an array and also altering it. Okay. So now let's move to the next topic about. So we will now learn how to declare a 1D array. So we have to declare a 1D array. So how we declare it? We have to write the data type of the variable, data type of the array, about the type of data we are going to store in the array. Then we have to write the variable name of the array, or the name of the array, and then we have to define the size. Now see an example. It is written over here, int a equal to 5. Now what this statement will do, inside the memory it will allocate some space for variable a. Okay, if this is my memory space, if this is my memory of the computer or the RAM, it will allocate a space for this a. Okay, how much space? 5 space. 1 2 3 4, and that is 5, and under the name, that is a. Okay, so like this the memory is allocated. Okay, now you may have a general question, what is the size of an array? Okay, the answer is quite easy. How do you define the size of an array? So all these places are of integer type, right? Here it is, all the places that the a defines is of integer data type, right? So how many integer can you store here? 1 2 3 4 5, and we know the size of integer is 4 bytes. So according to the statement, the size of array, so the answer is quite simple. The size of array will be equal to the size of array into the size of data type, that is 4 in this case. So it will give you 20 bytes of memory allocation. Understood by 20? Why 20? Because we are allocating the array size 5. That means 5 integer spaces. And what is the size of integer? It is 4. So if you multiply it by 4, 5 times 4 gives you 20. So 20 bytes of memory allocation over here. Right? Because all these spaces that are meant for storing some value are of integer data type. So 20 bytes. Okay. Now let's move to the next topic, that is assigning a 1D array with data. How we assign data to a 1D array? So it's quite simple. We have to write the data type, then the variable name, then the data. In this case, I have given integers, for example. Okay, so if you consider the example, this is the data type. This is the array name, and here it is the values which are given or values which are assigned to the array. So what this statement will do? So how many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what the statement will do, inside the memory, it will create a space for variable a and will store 5 values over here. Okay. So if you do it very clearly, in the memory, it will create a space for variable a and it will have 5 allocations in it, and it will store 11, 12, next 23, 45, 67. So, and this comes under the same name, that is a. Okay. Now, what is the index of 23 over here? The index of 23 is 0, 1, 2. So the index of 23 is 2. Right? I asked you the index just for your understanding to make it more clear. Right? So this way we assign value to a variable in array. Okay. So let's now move to the next topic, that is printing a 1D array. Okay. So if you want to print a member, if you want to print only a member of array, you can simply write printf %d for the integer case, comma, if a is the array name, and you have to write the index over here, then bracket close. What this will print? This will print a single element. Okay, what is a? A is array name of integer data type. Okay, so if you want to print a specific index or the value at a specific index, you can follow this format. That is format specifier, the array name followed by its index. So this will print only a single element. But if you want to print the entire array, then we use the concept of looping again. Okay, so how we will do this? So if you have an array of size 10, the loop runs from 0 to 9. Why? Because indexing of an array begins from 0. Understood? So if you have an array of size 10, the loop runs from 0 to 9 and print the respective elements. Okay. So basically to print, we run loops from 0 to n-1, where n is the size of array. We will understand this just now. So now we will understand how we print the members of an array. Okay. So in the previous slide, we have seen that it is done using loops. But before coming to the printing of the entire array, I want to make sure you know how we print the individual elements. Okay, suppose I have an integer array. So let's give the heading to understanding printing. Understanding array printing. Okay, we'll now understand how to print an array. Okay, suppose I have an array of 5 elements. Okay, let's declare over here int a equal to let's take the numbers to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So what is this? This is an array. So what will happen on execution of this statement? In the memory, this much amount of space will be allocated for the variable a to store some value, right? If you do it very clearly like this is the memory, and in the memory this is my array and 5 spaces, and 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 will be stored like this, and we have a same name, that is a, right? Now if you want to print the members one by one, what will you do? Suppose I want to print 10 first. So what is the index of 10? It is 0. Index of 20, 1, 2, 3, like this, right? Suppose you want to print 10. Okay, we want to print 10. So how will we printing 10? We will write printf. Over here, the common thing, that is percentage, that is the format specifier. What we are going to print? We are going to print an integer data type, output of integer data type. So what is the format specifier for int? That is %d, comma, quotes close, then comma. Then we have to print by using the index, the variable name, that is a, and we have to print the index. That is, the index of 10 is 0. Then like this, we are going to print by the index. So what this line will do? This line will print 10 on the output screen. Okay, we will show one by one after the understanding this examples. Okay, in the VS Code we will understand this. Now suppose I want to print 40. Okay, so what will I write? Printf %d, comma, a. What is the index of 40? It is 3. We will write 3. Then square bracket close. So what this will print? This will print 40 on the output screen. Clear? So what is this process? This process is useful for printing single entities. Single entity print. Okay. Now suppose I want to print all these elements, that is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 together, one after the another. So what will I do? I will run loops, okay, which will increment by 1, and the loop variable will control the index. Okay, so how will the loop work? Like, see here, we will write a loop over here. It will start from 0 because the indexing start from 0, right? And we will use this loop to get the variables values. Okay, so we'll write int I equal to 0, I less than how much? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I less than equal to 4, then I plus plus. Then we will write printf %d, then \n to get in a new line, then comma. We will write over here a, then I. Okay, then semicolon, and then the bracket is closed. So what will this do? This will print all the entities of an array. This will print all entities, all entity print. Okay, so if this is my output screen, so if I execute it manually or run it manually, see how it begins. First, what is the initial value of I? It is 0, right? So what will be here? It will be 0. So a of 0 is which much? It is 10. Very good. After that, there is \n. So next line. Now after this, the 0 becomes 1 because plus plus increment, that is increment by 1. So what is a of I? A of 1, I'm sorry. So a of 1 is 20. 20 getting printed. After that a increments to 2, then it becomes 30. A of I becomes 30. After that again increments, then it becomes to 3, from 2 to 3. What is a of 3? A of 3 gives us 40, and like this at the end we get up to 50. So what this code is doing? This code is printing at once or all together all the values stored in that array as output. Clear? So this is how you print using loops in array, and we also learned how we print single entities manually. This is by the help of loop, and this is manually. Okay, so you can write in manual output. Manual output, and this is loops. Okay, so what we do, we run a loop which controls or stores the index of an array and prints it accordingly. Okay, very simple. Now let's move to the next topic, that is printing 1D array. I have shown you an example over here. This is an example of printing 1D array. This array is of a name. A is the name of array. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this, the name of the array. Okay, then for I equal to 1, I less than equal to 4, then printf %d ai. So what this will do, if this is my output screen over here, it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. Understood the concept of looping in printing arrays, right? So that's why I told you that the concept of looping and the concept of for loop especially should be very essential or be very clear to you, because it helps us at first to print the series, then the patterns, then also in the array part, right? And then we will also see how it is implemented in the strings also, right, in the upcoming lectures. So for the time being, in the array we are implementing loop in this way, that is controlling the index of the array. Okay, so next topic now we will see about accepting array from the user. Now till this time, or till the time being, we have seen that we are printing the array as output, and the array was already predefined, right? It was already defined in the code. Now suppose if I want the user to give the value of the array or value stored in the array. So how will we do it? We will do it very simply. Just as we took input, suppose we want to take input, how we do? Suppose this is my int a, we want to take the b, let's do it b. If this is my int b and we want to accept the value of b from the user, so what did I do? We did scanf %d, which is the format specifier, then %d, which is the format specifier, comma, then %b. So this is the syntax we follow to accept the value of b from user. But here we are going to accept the value of array from the user, right? So what will I do first? I will write int a and then allocate some space for this, that is a required space, int a equal to 5. Okay, so what this line will do, inside the memory it will allocate some spaces for this variable a of 5 integer type, that is 20 bytes. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so this is my if I do it clearly, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so inside the memory this variable a is being created and it will have 5 spaces. Okay, and how do you identify these spaces? I have told you, that is by their index. This is the 0th index, this is the 1th index, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. This is the index by which you access data in the array. Okay, now suppose if I want to store in this A0 position, so what did I do while declaring? If I do simple assignment, it will be A0 equal to 5. So what will we do? It will set 5 over here. But in this case, we are going to do this using scanf, where we will accept the value from the user. So if you want to accept the value of only A0, only the A0 space you want to accept, you don't need the concept of looping, right? So we will write scanf %d, comma, ampersand. Then what will you write? A of 0. So what this will do? It will accept the value of this A of 0 index, and the value which we enter will go and sit in the 0th position, right? Now like this, if you want to accept the whole or the entire array as input from the user, we use the concept of looping again. Okay, so how we implement the concept of looping in accepting the 1D array? It is quite similar to the printing part also. We will write scanf %d, A, then I. What is I? I is the index value. Who is storing the index value? This is I. What is the initial value of I? It is 0. So initially, at first, it will accept the value of A of 0. Once it is entered, then I will increment by 1. Then it will become 1. It will accept 1th index value. Afterwards 2, then 3rd, then 4th index value, and like this our array gets filled up from the with the value from the user, right? So this was about accepting a 1D array from the user as input. Clear? Using the concept of looping, right? So this was about the basic functionality of the arrays. Now we will have some problems for practice, which will allow us to understand the concept of arrays in a much better way, right? So let's start with the first code, that is display an array. It is quite simple. So let's go to VS Code. We'll declare an array, assign value to it manually as per our wish, and we will display it. So let's go to VS Code now. So this is our VS Code. Okay, I have my prerequisites already made over here, and now I will do nothing. I will just declare an array. Okay, so it will be of integer data type as per my wish. So let the array name be ARR, and let's assign a value to it. It will be 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So 5 storage spaces. Okay, so let's print it now using the concept of looping. We will write %d, then A, RR, then we will write over here I, and also we have to run the I loop over here. So it will be for int I equal to 0, because array index start from 0, I less than equal to 4 because 5 members space in array, and I plus plus. Okay, so what this will do, this will print the entire array. Okay, let's do the needful changes over here. Now to make the numbers come in separate line, I will write \n so that it is easier for us to understand the output. Okay, so code is good enough to run. Let's run it now. So it is showing an error over here. So this is our first program, that is displaying an array. Okay, we will now see how to display an array in C program in the VS Code. Okay, so what we will do here, we will declare an array of any type, that is integer, let's take for example, and then we will display it using printf and using the concept of looping, which we understood just now. So let's go to VS Code. We are in our VS Code now, and let's declare an array int a arr. Let's be the array name be arr. Then let's give it 5 spaces, and let's assign value, say 10, 20, then 30, then 40, then 50. Clear? Now we have the value assigned to this arr variable. Then we will write int I equal to 0, I less than equal to 4, I plus plus. Now what this will do? This will print the array controlling the index, then %d \n, because I want the output to come in separate lines. Then we will write arr, and here the index, that is I, and our program is done. Let's run it. So it is getting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 like this. It is getting printed. Clear? So if you want to print additionally the size of array now, for your understanding, okay, what is the size of array? So let's find out the size of array. So we'll write here another printf size of array in bytes, obviously, is %d, and over here we'll write the function or use the function that is size of, and over here we will write the array name arr. Quite simple. And now let's just run it. So it is coming, the size of array in bytes is 20. Why 20? Because every data or every value over here is of 4 bytes, and 4 times 5 gives 20, because it is of integer data type. Clear? Now let's go to the next question and see what we have in next question. So it is asking us to display an array but in reverse order. Right, so it is saying us to display an array but in reverse order. So up to now, if this was my array, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the array name is a. Okay, if this was my array, when I displayed it, it always came 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, in the previous program only we see, but this time it is asked us to display the array in reverse manner, that is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, if you consider the first scenario, how did we do this? We did this by arr of 0, we printed this first, then arr1, we printed this second, which gave us 2, and like this up to arr of 5, we got this 5 value, right? So we came from 0 to 1 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this to get the array in forward bias, that is a forward order. Now to get it in reverse manner, what we will do? We will run a loop from the back to front, that is from 5 to 0 we will run the loop, and we will get our output. So let's see how we do this in VS Code. So this is our VS Code, and we have our array already defined with its value. So if I want to display an array in reverse order, I will just change the looping condition or the index condition. So I will start the looping from 4, and it will be I greater than equal to 0, and it will be I minus minus. So what this will do, the array will start from 5. So arr of 5, that will give us 50, and like this I will decrement and will give us the array in reverse order. So let's comment out this line and let's run our code now. So see, we are getting 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. That is the array in reverse order. So this was the answer of our question number 2. Let's go to question number 3 now. Now see here, what is the third question? Reverse the array and store it separately. What does this mean? Let's understand the question. Now in the previous question, what we did was, if this was my array of 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30, if this was my array, I printed this in reverse order, right? That is by running the loops from 0, 1 and 0 2. That is from running that loop from 2 to 0, we reversely printed the array. But it is shown it is said over here and store it separately. Now what we have to do here is we have to define another array. Suppose a or y is its name, and it will store the value of the ARR array but in reverse order. That means it will be 30 over here, it will be 20 over here, it will be 10 over here. So what this ARY is doing? This ARY is storing the array ARR in reverse manner. So this is also quite simple to do. Let's see how we do this. So we are in our VS Code now. The ARR array is already defined. Okay, and we will need another array, say ARY, and it will be also 5. And now how we will be assign and store in it reverse manner, it is like this. So let's run this loop like this only, and what we will do here is we will initialize another variable, that is int j equal to 0. Okay, now what will I do here is I will do a needful change, that is ARY of j equal to ARR of I. Then we will write j++, and our code is done. So what this code will do, when we execute this code manually, AR or ARY of j, that is it was initial value of 0. So at the 0th position of ARY array, 0th position, the value of ARY I, that is 4, gets placed, that is it comes to get 50. And after this, as the I gets reduced, the j gets incremented, and like this the array is reversed and stored in ARY. Okay, now this is the storing part is done. Now what we will print? We will print both the arrays now separately. So how we will do this? If you paste this, and now we'll print the array that is reversed in ARY. So it will come like this, I++, and we'll write the printf over here, printf %t, and we will print ARY, and let's see if our ARR array is coming in reverse order in ARI. Okay, and we will separate this with next lines, and let's see. 40, 10, 20, 30, 40. It's coming up to 40. Right? I hope I'm clear. So this is our concept. Okay. Now I see a thing, that is 50 is not getting printed over here. Right? Why? Because I started this I loop from 1. So if I start it from 0, our 50 will be printed. See here. See, now our 50 is getting printed. It was an error I made. So this way we print the array or reverse the array and store it separately under a different array. Now if you want to print both the arrays together, that is in reverse manner also, and also in the forward manner, that is the normal manner. So what we will do, we will print the array originally that was given, that is int I equal to 0, I less than equal to 4, comma I plus plus. Or if you want to do this in the same array itself, can you do? Yes, why not? You cannot do. Just we have to do a needful change, that is \t, that will separate the two array by a space, then again %t, then again \n. So after printing the array in normal manner, it will print the array in reverse manner. And our code is done. Let's run it now and let's see what we get. So see here. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. This was the original array, that is ARR. Okay. And what is this 50, 40, 30, 20, 10? This is the ARY array that is storing the ARR array in reverse manner, and we have printed it accordingly. Right. Now see here, in both the cases we are printing it straight, that is from I equal to 0, I less than equal to 4, that is a straight from 0th index it is starting the printing, and it is printing up to the 4. Right? It is not displaying, it is printing. Okay, so this was our code number 3. Let's go to code number 4. So it is given a random problem over here. It said display the following array, that is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, like this. So see here, a thing that I want to make you understand through this. What is the difference between these two numbers? Difference between these two is 2. Between these two is 2. Between these two is 2. 2. 2. 2. So these are all odd numbers. So how we implement and how we store these things in an array and display it. So this is our array. So we cannot predefine it now. We'll store it, have to store it. So we'll comment out this next array. Okay, we don't need it now, and we will do the needful changes. So what will I do is over here, I less than equal to 4 I plus plus. Okay, now if you can go to the question now, what was the starting value of this array? The starting value of the array was 1. So if I store 1 and I increment 1 by plus 2 and store it in the array, we get 3, and like this, on incrementing by plus 2 we get 5. So if I see my VS Code now, if this j I make it 1. Okay, if this j I make it 1, and let's see how we do this. So ARR of my I will be equal to j. Okay, and what will I do after this? We will write plus equal to 2, which means j equal to j plus 2. And after this we will print our array and we will get our answer. Okay, so what is this doing? It will increment the value of j by plus 2, and it will store in this array, and at last this is the printing part. Okay, let's write over here printing part so that it is much more clear. I won't have to explain it repeatedly. Printing part. Okay, now here there will be a problem. If you see the question over here, how many, up to how much you are printing? You are printing up to 15. Now if I apply indexes over here, this is a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are printing up to the 7th index. That means we need 8 spaces in our array, and also we have to implement the looping like that. So how to do this? We will change this 5 over here to 8, and we will run our loop up to 7, and here also printing part up to 7. Our code is done now. So if you clear the terminal, let's run this code now. See here, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. That's how it's getting printed. If I want to print it sideways, we will change backslash into backslash t, and this is the thing which we needed. That is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. That is what was required. If you see the question, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. Clear? So this was our question number 4. If we see question number 5 now, it is said, do the following manipulations in our array. So what is this thing asked to do? So our array is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. So what is happening over here is this 10, 12, 14 is coming in front, 10, 12, 14, 16, and this 2, 4, 6, 8 is shifting to the last part. Okay, I did a mistake in the question over here. The 10 is not supposed to be here. So 2, 4, 6, 8 in the last, and 10, 12, 14, 16 in the first. Okay, this was my array. So how to store these members first? Let's see. So this is a 2. So I will initialize j to 2 and will increment by plus 2. And how many indexes I need? That is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same. We need 8 membered array, and we will increment it from 2 now, because the starting value of the array is 2. So let's see in our VS Code how we do this. This is in our VS Code, and we will just initialize this j to 2, and like this our array is getting stored in the normal manner that was given in the question. And now we will do the operation part, that is the change part. So let's write here in comments change, or we can write manipulation. Okay, so first thing first, we have to get the index. So we have to write int I equal to 0 for getting the index, and we have to operate it accordingly. But for I equal to 0, I less than equal to, now see, I less than equal to how much? How much we are printing first? Or see, we are printing up to the last part first. Okay, so what is the index of 10 over here? The index of 10, if you see over here in the question, what is the index of 10? So if I write it over here clearly, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay. So what is the index of 10? Because from 10 only it is shifting to front. See here. From 10 only it is shifting to the front part. Right. So what is the index of 10? So index of 10 can be found like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So index of 10 is 4. Right. So we will write in the loop, that is, if we go in the VS Code, we will start our loop from 10 and end it to 7. So loop will start from 4. Okay, and it will be I less than equal to 7. Clear? Then I plus plus. Then we will write over here printf. We will first print. So printf percentage %d, then the array name, that is arr, and over here I. All right, and then the remaining part, that is from 0 to 3, we will print in this part. Okay, so code is done. Let's run this code and check if we are getting our desired output or not. Let's see. So we are getting our desired output, if you can see, 10, 12, 14, 16, 2, 4, 6, 8. See here, if we have done it properly. So it is coming 10, 12, 14, 16, and here it is the answer, the 10, 12, 14, 16, 2, 4, 6, 8. Now check it with the answer which we got in our terminal. Yes, 10, 12, 14, 16, 2, 4, 6, 8. Now this is not the actual way that I want you to do, because we are printing it. But if you want to store the same in a different array and print it in a straightforward way, let's make ARY active, the name of the array, or let's change this to ARR2, that will store the manipulated array, and give it 8 spaces over here. Okay, now we will store the ARR2 with these values. So how we will write this over here is, we will take another variable which is j, int j equal to suppose j equal to 0, because indexing will start from 0 of an array obviously, and we will not print it over here. Just what we will write, we will write ARR2 of j will be equal to this ARR I. Clear? And over here also the same thing we will write, that is ARR2 of j will be equal to ARR of I. Done. And now at the end, what we will do is, we will print the ARR array using loops. So like this, we will print the ARRY array. Like printf %d \t, comma ARR2, then over here I. Code is done. This was our code. And now I missed a thing, that is j plus plus. I forgot to increment j over here and also j over here. Code is done. Okay, we cannot use j over here because j is already assigning the value to the array. So let's change j to some other values. Okay, so how will I do this? we'll change j to some other name, say o for example, int o equal to like that. So let's see if our array is getting implemented properly or not. Okay, so we are getting some garbage value. Why we are getting garbage value? Let's see. Okay, so it will be now here ARR of this one will be O, because I changed the variable name to O obviously, so it should be changed, right? So let's see now, and yeah, we are getting our output as expected, that is 10, 12, 14, 16, 2, 4, 6, 8, right? So this is our answer, actual answer, or the necessary answer, which is the convenient answer which the other user will expect from you to write. The previous one we did, we only printed it or displayed it, but the entire array remained intact. But in this case, we are storing it in different array, and so that if we print the different array in normal way using the normal condition of looping, we get the answer expected, right? So now let's see question number 6 over here. What is question number 6 asked? Do the following manipulation in array. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The array is given over here. So what is the thing over here? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 first, then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's in reverse manner first, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now for this I will do only the displaying part. I am quite sure, I'm pretty sure you can do the storing part in different array. Okay, so first what will I do in VS Code? Let's switch to VS Code now. So we are in our VS Code now. What we will do at first what we will do is quite simple. We will just create an declared array. Okay, so let's do it to j++. So what this one will do, this one will create our array from 1 to 10. So let's change it to 10 now. Okay, we don't need this one because we will only display it. Okay, and also this one to 9. Okay, so what this one will do, this one will store the array or declare the array from 1 to 10 in the ARR variable. Okay, so after this now after this what we are doing is we want to bring in the manipulations. That is, we have to print 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at the first. So what is the index of 6? Let's go to our question and find out the index of 6. So what is the index of 6 over here? So if you do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So index of 6 will be 5 because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So index of 6 is 5. So what we will do, we will print from 6 to 10 first, and then the reverse one we will do separately. So what we will do here in VS Code is that we will printf. Let's copy this line, copy this loop, and print it over here. We will print from the 5th index to the 10th index, which gives us the first part of this array, ARR. Okay, now to display the remaining parts, that was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in reverse order, we need to run the loop in reverse order. So how will we do it? So we'll start this loop from what you call it will be from 4. Okay, and from 4 it will go to 0 and then I minus minus and change it to ARR. And this was all about the code. Let's run it and let's see if we are getting our desired output or not. So this is our desired output, and now we can see that we are getting a garbage over here, that is 42,000 like this. So why we are getting it? Let's investigate now. Why we are getting this garbage value? Let's see. So this loop is running from 5 to 10. Okay, I'm sorry, it will be 9 because there is no 10 spaces in my array, so it will be less than equal to 9. And now we see the garbage is prevented. So this is our desired output, that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you manipulate or check it with the question, so this was our required output, that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See, this is our output that we are getting. Clear? So this was all about question number 6. Okay. Now let's move to the next question, that is the last question for today. That is question number 7. It is quite simple. Fill an array with 6 digits using Scanf. Very easy. We don't need 2 loops. We'll just need 1 loop. Okay, let's display it also. So 6 digits. So let's declare it to 6. So it will be I less than equal to 5. This will accept the array. So let's make it to Scanf. Then here %d, comma, %a, rr, that is the array name, and here we will give the index, that is I. This will store the array, and for printing we need only 1 loop, and we will print it in straightforward manner, that is from 0 to 5. Let's do the needful changes in the I loop. Done, and it's ready to go. So let's see. So let's run the code. So here it is asking us the value in the 0th location. Let's give it to 0th index, let us do 10. Then the first location, that is 1, 20, 0 to anything, 30, 40, 50. Okay, and then the last value, that is 60. And it is giving us 10, 2, 30, 40, 50, 60. Why 2? Because 0, 2 means 2 actually. So 10, 2, 30, 40, 50, 60. So like this we can store values in an array. Clear? That is using Scanf. So this was all about the operations. So this was all about the operations in the 1D array. We have studied about the various kinds of manipulations that can be performed. In 1 hour of time we know how we access the member of array, how we declare array, how we perform manipulations in array, how we reverse an array and store it in different array. So in this 1 hour of time, I hope I have enabled you to update you or give you some information about operations with array. And see here, the main concept which is behind this is looping. Looping concept is very much essential for understanding the concept of this arrays. So I wish you know the concept of looping clearly. If you don't understand looping still now, I would request you to see the looping lecture that is came before this. So yes, that's all about today. We will see you in the next video, where we will learn about the multi-dimensional array. I told you in the beginning of this video, that is the array which has rows and columns. That is 2D arrays. We will see in the next video. So thanks for watching. Keep learning and keep exploring.